YouTube, what's up? Scuba here. This is going to be a toy pickup video, so let's jump right into it. Today was my day off from work. I decided to go hit up my boy's comic book store where they sell a lot of retro stuff, not just comic books, a lot of toys and stuff. Wanted to talk to him about the new classic TMNT line. They're actually getting them in tomorrow, and he's holding me a Raphael. Really good priced. A lot cheaper, half as cheap as they are online, I believe. Well, not half as cheap, but cheaper. So I'm pretty excited to be able to get my hands on that tomorrow. So I will be doing a video just on that and a review of the figure. But I went in there and you know what? I'm going to have to backtrack because I want to save those items for last that I got in there. So I'm going to do my day in reverse. I'm going to show you some of the last things that I found that led up to the trade that I made with them. So the last thing that I found, I'm really happy to get, is the 1988 soft head Leonardo complete. Now, this was an eBay purchase. I won for very, very cheap. Typically complete, I mean, you're looking at around 15, 20, 25 bucks. I mean, kind of ridiculous, but soft heads, you're looking at probably an average price of about $20 for a complete figure. For those of you that don't know, the difference between the soft heads of 88 and the hard heads of 88 was when Playmate officially released the first run of TMNT figures. They made them with soft heads to cut costs. The sales did so well that they then put a little more money into their figures and made the hard heads on their second runs. So these are the true very first edition Ninja Turtles. If it's not a soft head, then it wasn't in the first line. So I now have Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello complete soft heads. So I just need, of the Turtles, Michelangelo, and then I still need Splinter, Shredder, April, and Bebop and Rocksteady. The only figure made with the hard heads in the 88 lines was the Foot Soldier was not made with the soft head. So anyways, I was really happy to get him. Okay, then I went to in Carolina Beach. I decided to swing by this resale shop called Pelican Roost, and that's where I got. And I couldn't believe I found this. It was really cool. For like $4 or $5. $5. I got the complete 1989 Turtle Catapult. Now, if you don't know my collecting goals, my main collecting goals for TMNT is to get every vehicle or accessory made from 1988 to 1990. That's my goal right now. Complete. So I had one of these, but it was missing this shield and all these little red steps or red footies, whatever you want to call them. But I now have it complete, so I was really happy to get that for $5. Then I went to right next to it was a Goodwill. I wasn't planning on going, but I was like, well, while I'm here, because it's typically a 20-minute drive, I was like, I might as well go in. Found some cool stuff. Wish I would have bought it, but there were some pieces missing. I found a 2003 Gi.Joe vehicle that was pretty cool. I mean, you could tell it was newer. It wasn't as intricate as the older ones, or detailed, but it was still pretty good for $1.50. But it was missing one wheel, and I dug and dug and dug and tried to find the wheel, but couldn't find it. So I decided not to get it, because with the wheel, for $1.50, I could have traded it into the the comic book store and probably got a $8 or $9, probably a $7 or $8 figure, TMNT complete figure. So couldn't find the wheel, so didn't get it. Then they had a 1993 huge tank. It looked like one that you put batteries in and would just go. 1993 United States Army. I'm not sure what it was. At first I thought it was Gi.Joe, and I was about to flip out. but it wasn't. But it looked like there was a little piece missing, so I let it go. I should have probably picked that up, to be honest with you. It was only $2.50. And honestly, it looked like something that could have probably been worth maybe like 40 or 50 bucks. So I might have let that one slip. But as I was digging through there looking for the wheel, I found a 2002 Leonardo with the belt and one katana. It's missing the other katana. I tried to find it but couldn't find it. But nevertheless, for 79 cents, I grabbed them. Then I saw Donatello's bow on top of a stuffed animal. I was like, ooh. I was like, his bow, maybe there's Donatello's in there. So I kept digging. And I couldn't find Donatello. But then I found the Shredder from 2002. And I believe this is the Shredder. I don't know if this is the Alien Shredder or the Shredder from Fast Forward, but I believe this is the Alien Shredder. From the one that you would see on if you've ever watched Turtles Forever. I believe that's who this is. But I found him. He was 79 cents as well. Good looking figure. Then I kept digging, and finally found Donatello. So all three of those for, like $2.50 or something like that. So 79 cents each. So I was really happy to find those. Okay, and then I went, like I mentioned before, I went to my boy Jake's comic book store to talk to him about the classic line. They're actually getting the classic line of the TMNT figures in tomorrow, which I'm really happy about. They were only able to get a few, so he's going to hold me a Raphael figure. I don't really have the money, and I don't want to spend that much on all four of them. I'm more in the vintage, but I did want to have one to keep in box, because these are the figures that were actually made for collectors. They are made to look like a mixture between the original figures and the characters on the original series cartoon. Which, if you know, the original figures that came from the cartoon weren't made to look. They didn't have a lot. They had some similarities and some differences than the cartoon. Different colors. In the cartoon, they all look the same. Leonardo and Donatello had the straps on the belt. Cartoon, they didn't. But on these classic figures, which look amazing, they look even closer to their incarnations from the cartoon. And so I'm very excited to get my hands on Raphael tomorrow. I will do a review video on it. Not sure if I mentioned that already. Probably did. Anyways, I went in there and, I was looking at some of their Gi.Joe stuff, their vintage Gi.Joe stuff. They have an amazing collection. It's actually not theirs. There's a vendor that rents the spot out in there. But it's in a glass case. He has every figure in a little plastic thing or on a stand. Each Gi.Joe, like the cheapest one, was $10. And those were ones that weren't complete. I was really trying to find Shipwreck, but they didn't have him. But they had a couple Cobras. They didn't have Cobra Commander, but they had Cobra Commander, but they didn't have Cobra. The one where there's a couple variations. One with the mask. They had the one with the hood. And they were like $20 for just a figure. Insane. G.I. Joe is really expensive, even more so than He-Man. Anyways, the thing about the G.I. Joe line, the early 80s, mid 80s, and a little bit into the 90s, or late 80s to early 90s, they made their vehicles unbelievably well. Very intricate. They look like little models that you put together. So, I try to talk myself out of it a lot of times to collect for it, because it's so hard and to really collect for it or find stuff, because they break really easy having the rubber band legs. But nevertheless, I made a trade, and this is what I got. This is the first thing. I got three items. This is, I don't know the exact name for it, but it's like a giant gun but it's like a trailer. It hooks on the back of a vehicle, and it drags along. But the wheels fold down, so it can then act on its own as just a, you know, the thing rotates around. Very detailed, as you can see. These things open up right here on both sides, where you can see the bullets inside. But it's, and then there's the awesome Gi.Joe symbol, which I love. I mean, it's just really cool. This is from 1983, and I was very happy to get this. Now, I didn't get this guy from that store. This guy is from 1985. I actually found him at that place I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle catapult. I got him for $1, so happy about that. Not in the best condition, but you know, I can put him on here to model it right now. But yeah, and they originally wanted $18 for this. 1983. Okay, so, and honestly, I really don't think the camera does it justice of how nice. I mean, I haven't cleaned it up yet, so once I get it all shiny, it's gonna look really nice. And then this is from 1985. This is something that, it was my favorite vehicle they had there that I could have afforded. Well, that I could afford. They had a giant jet. I mean, it was like this big. I actually had the jet when I was a child. They had it out. They had the box. They had the giant rockets, which sat probably about 12 inches tall. I mean, the toys they made for Gi.Joe, bar none, the best toys ever made for any series when I grew up. I loved TMNT, but Gi.Joe, literally, I mean, it looked like a true military vehicles. They did the best job. And I remember I really got into Gi.Joe when they, about 86 to 90, when they did the Arctic series, where all of a sudden they started making all the Gi.Joes ninjas. Because before there weren't any ninjas. It was just like typical Marine type dudes. But then everyone became a ninja. That's when I got big into it. And they made some badass vehicles, but the ones earlier on, between 82 and 85, 86, 82 to 85, those were some of the most detailed ones. But anyways, this is what I picked up, and I was so happy to get this. I feel lucky to have it. I'm sorry guys, I don't know the names of them yet, but I will do some research. But it's so elaborate and detailed. It's got the lights. And the cool thing, dude, or guys, it's got shocks. They put shocks on this thing. Seriously. How many vehicles do you know they make right now that have shocks? Zero. Unless they're really, really good vehicles. I don't know. I don't buy any new stuff, so I don't know. But I doubt they really make them with shocks. But just really, really cool. Really articulate. Just really detailed. I really like it. But and I got this. The guy is from 1982 as well, and he has his gun, which is awesome. Anyways. This vehicle's from 1985. They originally wanted, I believe they wanted $35 for the vehicle. The guy right here was selling for like $12. And then this, they wanted $18. But he always hooks me up. He's like, hey man, I give you 25% off whatever you want, or because we're buds. So I did a trade in, and he hooked me up. He gave me all this trade in value for $30. So I traded him some stuff in, and all I had to give him trading value was $30. So he really hooked me up. $65. He knocked off like $35 for trading value. So that was really nice of him. So yeah, very happy to have these guys added to my collection. I guess I'm gonna have to start looking for Gi.Joe stuff. I mean, I do, but maybe I'll start looking for it on Craigslist and stuff if I can find it cheap. Just need to do a little more research, because even though I was a huge fan as a kid, I didn't really retain a lot of it. Can't remember as many, like TMNT. I know like probably 90% of the characters' names. I know the storylines. I know the vehicles. I see a vehicle, I'm like, oh, that came out this time. This is not like that at all. It's like, whoa, I think I remember him in a show. You know what I mean? But so anyways, guys, I wanted to share this with you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've rambled on long enough. Holy crap, 17 minutes almost. So I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Cheers.